It would be hard to argue with the fact that the Boston Celtics were the most disappointing team in the NBA last season. Playing without their two best players 2 seasons ago in the playoffs, the young Celtics were able to play with literally no pressure and surprised a lot of people with their team success. But there's a difference playing without pressure and no expectations to being one of the teams to beat. Not a lot of players can handle the pressure of being one of the odds-on favorites to make it to the finals. Bringing back Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward seemed like an easy fit back into the rotation to join young players like Tatum, Brown, and Rozier, who had showed their potential throughout the regular season and playoffs. But it was nothing but a complete failure and disappointment. There wasn't much time to go around with so many worthy players. They had a team full of star power and young talent, but lacked the chemistry and sacrifice on and off the court that led to their ultimate demise. Kyrie Irving wasn't the leader the Celtics needed, and he showed his frustration with the coach and players countless times on the sideline. With the young players, there was some resentment because of how the offense flowed without Kyrie and the fact that they reached the Eastern Conference Finals. It seemed like it was already a done deal that Kyrie was going to lead the Celtics and go to a New York team. I'm sure most Celtics fans won't miss him, but the loss of Al Horford could be the biggest loss. He was the anchor on the top 10 defensive team, and he was the glue guy that every team needs. Great locker room guy, and always comes to work. With that cap space that was created with the departure of Al Horford, the Celtics were able to make a big splash in free agency by bringing in all-star point guard Kemba Walker. Now Kyrie has a better resume and is a proven player in the playoffs, but Kemba Walker and Kyrie are essentially the same type of players. With Kemba, you get the elite scoring production without the drama. Kemba is more of a humble person that will do whatever it takes to make it work. Over the last 2 seasons, Kemba has turned himself into a bona fide star. And last season in particular, he averaged a career-high 25 points per game, and despite the increased scoring, his assists went up also. But in order for his addition to work with the current players, I believe he will have to be less aggressive scoring the ball and be a little more of a facilitator. Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown didn't progress like many expected. You could accuse both players of taking bad shots and not looking to move the ball for a better one. There are still high expectations for both players, especially Jayson Tatum. He has the most potential of any player on the Celtics, and his shot selection will have to improve before he can become the star player the Celtics are hoping for. While Tatum got his fair share of minutes last season, it was a different story for Jaylen Brown. He was the 6th or 7th man for much of the season, and that had to affect his mindset, and it showed in his play. But this season, he should be inserted back into the starting lineup, and many people are expecting the same production he had 2 seasons ago in the playoffs. Nobody had a more frustrating season than the former All-Star Gordon Hayward. Because of the recovery of Paul George, who had a similar leg injury, people automatically expected Gordon Hayward to be at least the same player he was after a year of recovery. But not every player heals the same. Not every player can get past a mental hurdle as quickly. And the fact that he had to deal with the negative energy on the team, it resulted in a bad season for Hayward. But with new players coming in, bringing a different attitude, and another year of getting back in shape and building confidence, Hayward should have a significantly better year than last season, even if he never returns back to the All-Star level from his last season in Utah. Boston's weakness this year will be their power forward and center position. They took a major step back with Horford and Marcus Morris leaving in free agency, and Aaron Baines being traded. Even though they signed Enes Kanter, who brings scoring and rebounding, I believe Daniel Theis is the best option to be the starting center. The one thing that Kanter can't do is play defense, and it seems like it's getting worse every year. Theis has developed into a reliable big man for the Celtics over the last 2 years. This will be the first time for him getting legit minutes, game in and game out. He is obviously a better defender than Kanter, but he took a major step forward in his three-point shooting as it jumped from 31% to 39% from three-point land. I don't believe a starting lineup of Brown, Tatum, and Hayward is a good idea. When they started together last season, The offensive flow suffered, and many possessions ended with an ISO. Having either Brown or Hayward come off the bench is the best option. I believe players like Semi Ojeleye and rookies Grant Williams and Carson Edwards could play a major role this upcoming season. Ojeleye has always flashed the potential of being a rotation player, but he's never gotten consistent minutes. This may be the first opportunity to become an impact player. He has the strength and muscle to hold his own in the paint on defense, and he's primarily a three-point shooter on offense. Ojeleye is an all-hustle type of player, and he's one of Brad Stevens' favorite players. Grant Williams and Carson Edwards are rookies who played into their junior years in college, and is more mature than most rookies. Carson Edwards is a bucket waiting to happen. He can catch fire real quick. He's not much of a facilitator at this point, and he needs to improve his defense. But if the Celtics need additional offense, Carson Edwards should get the call. Grant Williams is the two-time SEC Player of the Year and has proven to be an all-around offensive stud. He has the body and strength to hold his position in the paint and has the footwork and soft touch to score down low. But he also improved his three-point shot in his junior year. If he can prove that he can shoot the three in the NBA, he'll get plenty of minutes in his rookie season. The chemistry should be so much better than last season, and the Celtics should get their mojo back that they had 2 seasons ago. The loss of Al Horford will have a big impact. Their current big men individually don't bring the versatility and leadership that Horford brought. They'll have to do it by committee. I have the Celtics finishing 4th in the East and winning 50 games. The addition of Kemba Walker will bring a fun culture back to the team, and every player will want to play for one another. Tatum and Brown will be more efficient, and Gordon Hayward will put together a solid and productive season.